Today I'll share the different things I've done in order to gear up my first level 85 character as quickly as possible. Not only am I soon ready to step into the first raid, yeah, I'm waiting for these to be released, but I've also got the full PvP set, so I can start doing arenas. The quickest way to get gear is of course just to do Tol Barad and Wintergrasp and start spamming dungeons and heroics. Hopefully you did also watch my video do this before level 85. If you followed the different steps, you can also sign up for heroic the moment you reach max level. So the first thing I did was simply to head to my trainer to learn the new level 85 spells. I also decided to unlearn my talents to go with the build that I need for doing dungeons and later on raids. On top of this, I had also been leveling with different glyphs, and I decided to change these into PvE only, as it were going to be a lot better for when I had to do dungeons. What I did next was to level up my professions. As I leveled these, I also got different rare items I could equip to boost my item level. And at this point, you're maybe also ready to sign for your first random Cataclysm level 85 dungeon. If so, well, as a DPS you can expect 10 minutes queue. As a tank or healer, it's going to be pretty much instantly, so if you have the possibility to sign as one of these roles, then I would highly recommend you to do so. But what about those that still can't sign for a random Cataclysm dungeon? There's going to be 3 different things you can do. First, you could head to the auction house and purchase rare items. Some of these are already fairly cheap, we're talking about less than 500 gold for each individual item. There will of course also be some items that are way more expensive, that's because there's currently a high demand for these, but don't worry, the price will continue to go down. You can also boost your item level for free, it will just require you to spend a bit of time. Either go to Orgrimmar as a Horde player, or to Stormwind City as an Alliance player. In those 2 main cities, you can find yourself a Honor Quartermaster, where you can purchase PvP gear. The amazing thing is that these items is also item level 352, so by purchasing these, you can boost your overall item level by a high amount, especially if you have green items. In a moment, I will show you how you can quickly gain honor. I do know these are PvP items, so not really meant for PvE. But even though they're PvP, then because of the high item level, then these are actually better than many of the green items I had the moment I reached level 85. For those of you that would not like to use these in PvE, well, you can just deposit them in your bank. It will still boost your overall item level, even though you don't have them in your bags or equipped. The 2 quickest ways to gain honor is to sign up for Wintergrasp or battle for Tol Barad. Wintergrasp happens at 3, 6, 9 or 12 AM and PM. And 1 hour later, you can then sign up for battle for Tol Barad, so at 1, 4, 7 or 10 AM and PM. Before you join your first battle for Tol Barad, make sure to head to Tol Barad Peninsula. Here you can pick up a weekly quest that tells you to win this battle. By completing this quest, you're rewarded with a bit of bonus honor, and completing the battle for Tol Barad rewards you around 600 honor. This is also the exact same case with the battle for Wintergrasp. With this method, you can make thousands of honor in next to no time, especially if you also do the battle for Wintergrasp quest, as these reward you between 3 to 600 honor as well. So by doing these 2 battles and the quest, you also have yourself enough honor to purchase 3 different PvP items. The other thing you could be doing to boost your item level is to continue to quest. When you're doing quest, you're going to be rewarded with reputation and additional gold, and in some cases maybe even rare items that will boost your item level. The additional gold you get, you could spend on the auction house to purchase rare and epic items. The reputation, well, when you get to Honored, Revered or Exalted, you can purchase different items. And the most important thing is just to make it to friendly, as you can purchase a tabard you should be equipping when you head into your first level 85 dungeon. So make sure to focus on the factions where there's going to be rewards you will also be using on your character. Alright, so at this point you should also be doing your first random Cataclysm dungeon. You can expect long queue times as a DPS, therefore you should be doing something useful at the same time. For example, continuing to quest, leveling up your professions, or just farming gold. What I quickly noticed were how easy it was to do these dungeons on normal difficulty. The good thing is that you're going to be rewarded with 333 item level equipment, and there's many quests you can do that guarantees you a reward if you're unlucky and don't win any of the roles. So there's 2 different things you could be doing. You can use the random dungeon finder tool to get into a random dungeon and then hope there will be quests you can do, but no matter what, then whenever you complete the dungeon, you will also be rewarded with the bonus justice points. The other option is to sign for a specific dungeon. You will of course not be given the bonus reward at the end, but you will still get justice points whenever you kill a boss, and of course get into a dungeon where there will be quests you can pick up. Another benefit of choosing a specific dungeon is if there's, for example, a specific item you would like to continue farming, maybe one item in order to get enough item level for you to also sign for a heroic. And remember to also spend your justice points on equipment that will boost your item level by the highest amount, be the biggest upgrade, or maybe even a pre-best item. By the time you've got enough item level to sign up for a random Cataclysm heroic, you should be doing so. It will reward you 240 valor points when you complete it, and you can get this reward 7 times a week, or well, up till you have got a total of 1600 valor points this week. And just like I mentioned earlier in the video, continue to be doing something useful as you're waiting in queue. Every single boss in a heroic will be dropping 346 item level equipment. The final boss will not be dropping an epic item like it did in Wrath of the Lich King, but in a way you can still get epic items. Make sure to lead on the material carousel. This material you can use when you get your professions to 525, and it allows you to craft many different rare but also epic items. These epic items will be bind on equip, so you can either use them yourself or post them on the auction house to make gold for something else. At some point you will have farmed a total of 1600 valor points by completing 7 different random heroic dungeons. As a Horde player, you spend this currency at the top of this building in Orgrimmar, as an Alliance player in the Old Town. This is also where you will find the Justice Points Quartermaster, but the Valor Quartermaster allow you to purchase epic items. Instead of just purchasing an epic item right away, you should start thinking about what will be the best option. What will be the biggest upgrade? In this case, I've purchased a relic, and this is because this will be the best in slot for all of phase 1, so I'm not gonna replace this when I'm stepping into raids. Instead of also spending the currency on purchasing these boots, well then remember the boots will be bind on equip, so you could purchase them with gold. In my opinion, it's therefore better to either purchase what will last the longest or what will be the biggest upgrade. It could for example be tier 11. In order to get tier 11 heroic, you will need the normal version, so by spending your valor points on these items, you will also be getting something useful later on. However, if you still have a green item and you can replace this with an epic, I would probably be doing so in order to boost your item level and to increase your chance of being invited into a raid. As you're farming heroics, you will probably also get to a point where you don't really need any rewards from the justice points, and therefore, instead of signing for a random dungeon, you could do specific dungeons in order to increase your chance of getting something useful, else you could be doing dungeons and not really gaining anything. So I started browsing through the different dungeons to look up what I needed the most. And one boss in Stonecore, actually the first one, were dropping a trinket I needed. You need to be aware of one thing. When you sign for a specific heroic, you can only sign for this once every single day. So if you don't end up getting the loot, you will have to try again tomorrow. Meanwhile, you could also be signing for other specific dungeons where there's gonna be other items you could be needing. Maybe even another trinket if you don't end up getting the first one. Or another solution is just to sign for a random heroic, and if you don't end up getting the right one, you just leave the party right away. What else can we be doing to increase our chance of being invited into a raid? Well, you could head to Tol Barad Peninsula or Tol Barad as well. Here there will be many different daily quests you can do. Not only will you be given gold, but you will also get reputation with the faction. The name of this faction is Baradin's Warden as an Alliance player, and Hellscream's Reach as a Horde player. The main reason for focusing on this faction is to get to Exalted, where you can get yourself an epic trinket. There is going to be a useful trinket for every single role in the game, but this also requires you to reach Exalted with the faction, and reaching Exalted will take some time, as you can't just purchase yourself a tabard and head into dungeons. No, you will have to be doing the different daily quests. These daily quests can be picked up in Tol Barad Peninsula, but also in Tol Barad by heading to the middle of the zone. You could be finding other people or simply doing them by yourself as you're waiting for the next dungeon to begin. As a Horde player, you also pick up these quests in the middle of the zone, but at the opposite side of the building. To complete every single quest, including the ones in Tol Barad Peninsula, I usually spend around 45 minutes. And you can expect to be doing this for 8 days in order to reach Exalted and get your epic trinket. Meanwhile, you should also be farming gold, as you can purchase different epic items on the auction house. These are getting cheaper and cheaper, and some of them will be your pre-raid biz item. There's many different ways to make gold, and you can find a lot of inspiration in my Cataclysm gold making guide. For more information about this guide, make sure to check out the description below this video. To improve your character's performance, you could also enchant your items. Especially if you get pre-raid biz, you could start spending more gold on these enchants, as you won't be replacing the items anytime soon. and a belt buckle to add an additional socket to your belt. In your gear, you should also apply different gems. For those of you with not too much gold, you could just be using green gems, as these cost less than 5 gold. For those of you with a lot of gold, you could be using the rare gems. But as I was gearing up and collecting my pre-raid biz, I simply just used the green gems in all my non-pre-biz. But by the time I got my pre-biz, I simply also started investing into these rare gems. Instead of buying them on the auction house for a lot of gold, you should buy them uncut and find a jewel crafter and pay a fee. Last but not least, make sure to reforge your items into the best possible stat for your class. And if you have too much hit, for example, you could be reforging this into something else that is way more useful, maybe more crit or mastery. So I hope you found this guide useful. For a lot more Cataclysm videos in the future, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and on the channel there will also be a lot of other useful videos that you might end up liking. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.